Hey, Steve here, and I've got a question for you. When you study for the PMP exam, are you actually learning how to think, or are you just memorizing answers? Because here's the thing, PMI doesn't care if you can recite definitions. They want to know if you can lead, and that's a very different skill. That's why today I'm starting something new. It's called Think First. We're training your instinct, the way PMI actually tests you. Here's how it works. I give you a scenario, you decide what you would do, then I show you the options. Then we break down why PMI thinks the way they do, and why the wrong answers are tempting but incorrect. Sound good? All right, let's go. Question 1. This one trips people up because it looks like a process question, but it's not. It's a fear question. Here's the scenario. A project manager notices that team members are avoiding speaking up during meetings and quietly correcting errors without reporting them. The project is at risk because issues are being hidden. What should the project manager do first? Take a moment, don't rush this, pause the video if you need to, and come back when you've committed to an answer. Now here's your options. A. Increase reporting requirements and formal reviews. B. Implement penalties for recurring errors. C. Reinforce psychological safety within the team. D. Ask functional managers to enforce accountability. Now eliminate, cross off what clearly doesn't fit, pause the video if you need to, and come back with your answer. The correct answer is C. Reinforce psychological safety within the team. If you picked C, nice work. You're thinking the way PMI wants you to think. Let's take a look at why C is the correct answer. PMI is testing fear, not process. When people hide issues and stay silent, they don't feel safe. Without trust, no process works. Psychological safety comes first. This is straight out of PMBOK 8's people-centered approach. If people don't feel safe, they won't tell you the truth. And if you don't have the truth, you don't have a plan. You have an illusion. You can add reporting, you can add templates, and you can add meetings, and you still won't get reality. That's why safety comes first. Now let's take a look at why the other answers are wrong. A. Treats the symptom, not the cause. Fear doesn't disappear with more forms. B. Penalties destroy trust. PMI rejects punitive answers. D. Punishing the functional managers is abdication. This is the PM's leadership responsibility. Option A gives you more data, but bad data. Option B drives problems underground. And option D, that's not leadership. That's avoiding your job. Lock this pattern in. When fear is present, PMI wants psychological safety first. Quick pause here before we move to question 2. If this format is working for you, if you're starting to see how PMI actually thinks, do me a favor. Hit that like button, drop a comment, and tell me if you got question 1 right. And subscribe so you don't miss the next episode. We're dropping 3 new scenarios every week. Same format, no fluff, just real exam logic. All right, let's keep going. Let's take a look at question 2. This one's a classic, and people get it wrong because they think PMI wants them to be nice. PMI doesn't want you to be nice. PMI wants you to be effective. Here we go. Question 2. 2 key stakeholders strongly disagree on how a critical project decision should be handled. The issue affects long-term success and stakeholder commitment. What should the project manager do? For this question, notice the signal words: critical decision, long-term success, and commitment. PMI is telling you that success depends on people staying bought in after the decision. Think through this question, pause the video if you need to, and describe what you would actually do. All right, here are your options for question 2. A, force a decision. B, smooth the disagreement. C, compromise. D, collaborate and problem solve. This is testing leadership style. What matters here isn't speed, it's durability. The decision has to stick. Commit to an answer. Pause if you need to. The correct answer is D, collaborate and problem solve. Here's the PMI logic. Signal words in the question: critical issue, long-term success, stakeholder commitment. When the issue matters and the relationship matters, PMI wants collaboration. This aligns directly with PMBOK 8's focus on stakeholder engagement and value realization. Outcomes don't happen just because a document says so. They happen because people commit, act, and support the decision. If you force this, you might win the moment, but you lose the execution. Now let's take a look at why the other answers are not as good. A, forcing creates resistance. Resistance kills commitment. B, smoothing avoids the problem, so nothing gets resolved. C, compromise on critical decisions guarantees that everyone loses something important. Option A gives you speed but creates enemies. Option B gives you calm but keeps the conflict. Option C splits the difference and weakens the outcome. Lock this pattern in. When commitment matters, collaborate. Okay, last question. And this is where PMI really messes with your head, because everything I just told you about collaboration, throw it out the window. Question 3. A critical issue threatens immediate project failure. Time is limited. Action is required. What leadership approach should the project manager take? This is crisis language. Immediate threat. Limited time. Required action. PMI is testing whether you can shift gears. Go with your instinct. Pause if you need to and come back with what you think this answer could be. Here are your options. A, collaborate. B, force and direct. C, avoid. And D, smooth. If you automatically pick collaboration because it worked in question 2, PMI is going to catch you here. Context decides the leadership approach. Make your decision, pause if you're unsure, and think it through. The correct answer is B, force direct. And if that feels uncomfortable, good, because PMI is contextual. Let's take a look at why B is the correct answer. PMI is contextual. This is a crisis, immediate threat, limited time where action is required. In a crisis, collaboration slows decision. PMI expects decisive leadership. This is situational leadership, straight from PMBOK 8's emphasis on tailoring your approach to context. In question 2, collaboration was right. Here, it's wrong. So you're asking why. Because in a crisis, decisiveness protects value. You stabilize first, then you collaborate once the bleeding stops. Now let's take a look at why the other answers are wrong. A, collaboration takes time. In a crisis, delay increases damage. C, avoidance is failure. PMI never rewards ignoring urgent risks. D, smoothing minimizes urgency, delays action when action is critical. Option A gets everyone aligned while the project burns. Option C is doing nothing, which is a decision and it's the wrong one. Option D creates false calm instead of real control. Lock in this pattern. When urgency is real, lead decisively. Now step back and look at what you just learned. Trust before process, collaboration when commitment matters, directive leadership in crisis. That's PMI's thinking. You just learned 3 patterns. The PMP exam has 180 questions. Do you want the full system that trains all of them? Check out the 4E PMP Exam Accelerator. PMBOK 8 aligned, links in the description below, and before you go, hit that like button if this helped you think differently. Drop a comment and tell me which question tripped you up, or if you have a specific question you would like us to address in a future video, place it in the comments down below. I'll see you in the next episode of Think First.